Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, for those who have joined us for this discussion, I want to welcome the chairperson of Actuarial Society of Kenya, the Secretary General, to just give us a perspective as we start the session. We have our guest in today. My name is Livingston Makori. I'm from Corporate Career. We really want to appreciate you for coming. So I want to take this chance to give the chance to the Secretary General of the Actuarial Society of Kenya, Mr. Joseph Mutati, to take us from here.
Yes, thank you, Livingston, and a warm welcome to everyone who has made it to the meeting. We really appreciate you, George, for being with us at this hour. So a quick activity that I want us to do, kindly, let's take the next 2 minutes. Everyone comment the comment section where you're coming from, the university, so that we try to interact. So everyone in the meeting, for the next 2 minutes, kindly comment on the chat box the university you're coming from. Then from there, I'll thank you
much. Kindly, we can mute for those who are not speaking. Let's mute as okay.
Yeah, and maybe as more people are commenting, I would request Abna to maybe pray for us before we begin it officially. Kindly, you're in the meeting. Abna.
Hello.
Yes. Pray for us.
Yeah, so welcome everyone to this amazing event. So we are going to start by a word of prayer. However, just to do a quick introduction, my name is Abna Kerosi Maina. I'm the organizing secretary of the Actuary Student Society of Kenya. So I have with me my deputy, who is Mr. Oscar Munene, who is also my chairperson at the association level. He's going to pray for us. So Mr. Oscar, if you can hear me.
Yes, you can make it. So hello guys. Thank you so much, Abna, for this opportunity. My name is Oscar Munene, the chairperson of Murang'a University Actuarial Association. And so I will take this opportunity so that we can pray, then we can start the meeting. So shall we pray? So mighty God, we thank you for your presence
from the University of Eldoret.
Hello, members. We are losing some order. I think you are praying. The rest of us can be typing where you are coming from and actually not addressing the meeting kindly. So I take it back to Oscar again.
Okay, so let's pray. Mighty God, we come before your presence this afternoon, oh God. We thank you, Lord, for yet another opportunity, my Father, that we've conferred here, Lord, as we start our meeting, O King of glory. I will ask you, Lord, that you may lead us, mighty Father, as we start this meeting, oh God, that, Lord, we shall get the best out of it, oh God, from our speakers, oh Lord, who are with us today, O King of glory. May you be with us, oh Lord, from the start, oh Lord, and to the end. In the mighty name of Jesus, I do pray and believe. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Oscar. So I take it back to you. My Secretary General is also our moderator today. Bwana Joseph, you can hear me?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Abna. Let me reintroduce myself. My name is Joseph Mutati. I'm the spokesperson for Actuarial Student Society of Kenya. And today I'm going to be your moderator, assisted by Abna and Judy. So we are not going to take a lot of time because I understand we all have different activities to do, and some want to watch Olympics, maybe some late in the afternoon. So we are going to be very brief on what we're doing. those who are joining us now, I can see we have around 50 comments. Kindly comment the university you're coming from. And also those who are joining us from Facebook and also YouTube, kindly drop your comments, the university you're representing, so that now we can interact together and maybe know where you're coming from and something of the sort. So today is a big day for every one of us. Something I can just tell you, let's just get prepared for this event. So I'm not going to take a lot of time. I'm going to introduce my chair, that is the chairperson of Actuarial Student Society of Kenya, Vincent, who will introduce his team, and then from there we'll go to now the main speaker of the day. So if you're getting me, Mr. Chair, Vincent, it's your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph, for that good introduction. Yes, as you have said, my name is Vincent Kitonga. I am the chairperson, Actuarial Student Society of Kenya, and you are very welcome to our today's meeting. Welcome, Bwana George. We will be listening closely to your insights of what the actuarial field has to offer. Yeah, because I don't want to take so much time, I will just like to acknowledge my team, which is present. I won't mention them wote wale wako hapa, but I'll say it has taken a big team to make this event successful. We have our ASSK team led with me, the chairperson, and our Secretary General, who is Joseph Mutati, our organizing secretary, who is Bona Abner, and a team of presidents from all the universities. So thank you so much for your effort. It does not go unnoticed, and we will work forward and more in the coming future. So thank you so much for that. I bring it back to you, Joseph, so that you can introduce our next speaker. Thank you. Joseph. I believe Joseph Mutati. Okay, I can introduce Bwana Livingstone. Livingstone, who is the founder of Corporate Career Academy, who is our key partners to make this event successful. Kindly, you are welcome, so that you can introduce yourself and introduce our today's speaker. Welcome, Bwana Livingstone. Livingstone. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Thank you. We can hear you. We had a small technical error.
Oh.
Maybe an each where we're not allowed to unmute ourselves. I think for now I can see I've been allowed to unmute myself. Sorry for that small interdiction. So I think now, Mr. Livingstone, you can go ahead and introduce Mr. Livingstone.
Yes, Mr. Livingstone, if you are able to unmute yourself, kindly, it's your time to speak to our students. If not, I believe I can introduce our guest for today directly so that you can dive into it. Yes, our guest for today is George Odera. George Odera, as you have seen from the poster, is an actuary working with Safaricom, and he will be key to share his insights with us today on the role of the actuary and today's technology and innovation. So, Bwana George Odera, you are very welcome. I believe you can unmute yourself and begin your presentation, sir. George, are you getting me? George? Can you guys hear me? I believe we are having a technical hitch. Can you guys hear me? Can you confirm if you can hear me? You can wave for me. Yes, George, if you can hear me, you can unmute yourself and speak to us. Okay, then I believe George might be having a technical hitch, but as we wait for that, Joseph, our moderator for the day. Yeah, anyway, as we wait for them to fix our technical hitch, I believe the members who are present, mnaweza ingia pale in our social medias, say the university that you are representing, state the university that you are representing, and at the end of it all, there will be a prize for the most active society, and we will pay you a personal visit to your university and give you some goodies. So go there to the media, comment, like, share everything, and wale who won't be able to join through the Zoom meeting, you can ask them to join through our social medias, the Facebook and the YouTube, which have been shared with you. You can ask them to join through those platforms. So kama uko na a friend who has been left out for the Zoom meeting, you can share, you can tell them to join through the Facebook and YouTube. Okay, George, let me contact George and
Okay, thanks everyone. I've been trying to unmute myself for quite some time. I think there's a restriction. I hope I'm audible.
yes, we can now hear you, sir.
Okay, cool, thanks. Sorry for that hitch. So I'll just walk you through a couple of slides which I'd prepared for this session. I intend it to be as interactive as possible. So we'll have an open forum session where you can post any questions which you have on the chat. Then we'll just have a discussion around it. So the moderator will be just reading out the questions afterwards. Then I'll try my best to answer them. So I'll just share with you a slide, but it's saying the host has disabled screen sharing, unfortunately. So perhaps if you could just enable me to share my screen. Vincent, I believe you are sharing your screen instead. I'd like to share mine.
Sorry, I believe our original host was the one that ametoka kwa group, so that is why we are having some problem. His network is a bit down, but let me allow you to share your screen.
Beatrice Gadondo.
Okay, I believe you can now share your screen.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay.
Right, so you could just confirm that you can see my screen, then I'll proceed.
Yes, it is visible now.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, I think we've lost quite some time because of that hitch, but I'll just try and cover as much as I can within the remaining time period. There are quite a few slides, so it should not take too long to go through them. So first of all, I would like to start off with a quote that for the things we have to learn before we can do them, we actually learn by doing them. And that's quite true for virtually anything that we need to do. It's only through practice that you can actually do it. So even as I go through the slides and some of the pointers, I think at the back of your mind, you should just bear in mind that you can only get good or better in whatever you intend to do through practice. So there are 6 items I have open for discussion, and you can just mute your mic if you're not speaking kindly. So we'll start off with looking at the business evolution, then the actuarial transformation, what's currently happening. Then we look at the skills which are required for the future workforce. I'll touch on the potential roles that an actuary can play in digital innovation. Then just look at some of the career opportunities available. Then we'll have an open discussion afterwards. Now, if I look at what's happening in terms of business evolution, I intentionally picked 4 key areas which I feel are critical to any business operations, and you'll find yourself at least using one of these 4 items within the day. So those 4 categories are communication, computing power, storage, and networks. Now, if you look at those 4 items, we've gone through an evolution right from the very start. So if you look at communication, moving from smoke signals all the way to information to present time, where we are able to communicate through multiple channels. For computing power, first computer was the abacus, and I'm sure some of you have interacted with it before. Calculators came through in the 1970s. We had tablets coming in post 2000, and what we are looking at going forward is extended reality into the future. For storage spaces, I know perhaps depending on your age, you may have used a kind of floppy disk. Most of you are born in the era for DVDs and USBs, and currently where we are right now is the age of cloud computing. In terms of networks, there are quite a number of networks that came in. So from 95, eBay, Google, 2000, all the way to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Google in recent times. And if you just look at this screen, you will probably realize that from the time you get out of your bed, when you wake up, you've probably interacted with at least one of these networks. You've communicated in one form or another. there's some underlying computing power in what you're using to communicate. So whether it's your mobile phone, there is an operating system behind it, whether it's your computer, and you're increasingly creating information and storing it, backing it up, presumably via the cloud. Now, businesses have also gone through some evolution or changes. Some have adopted to change, others have not. And just looking at those specific to the Kenyan context, I'll just cite two examples just to paint a picture. So for most of us growing up, taking photos, it's always Kodak, you'll go to the studio. Probably most of you can also remember using ever-ready powered batteries to power your toys, etc. Now, these companies did not adapt to changing times. The plant, for instance, for ever-ready plant in Nakuru shut down some years back. But because they were in the energy sector, they were best positioned to actually transform their business to renewable energy, which they did not. Kodak cameras was overtaken by Canon and Nikon in terms of digital cameras. And increasingly, even nowadays, people have cameras through their phone. So they did not actually anticipate that change. Now, as a profession, you also realize, and it's not really specific to actuarial, but professionals also need to evolve and adapt to changing times. And the only way you can do that is to be cognizant of what is required going forward and upskilling yourself to make yourself relevant in the future job market. Now, there are some two videos that I'd like us to watch. I've put the link there because I believe you'll have the presentation or slides afterwards, but I'll just play them and you can also, just for future reference, click on those YouTube links. So just a disclaimer that the videos are purely for informational purposes, so I'm not in any way endorsing the specific organization behind the video. So if you just give me a second, I'll share that in a minute. So I'll just share my entire screen. I think it's going to be easier to play the video that way. Anyone can just confirm that they can see the video on the screen?
Yeah, sure.
Audio is okay? Confirm?
Audio on the video.
Just confirm the audio is okay. I've paused it.
It's a bit low.
Okay, let me see what I can do. Yeah, that should be fine. So I'll just start it. So there are two videos. Let's just watch them till the end.
Kujaribu
Okay, so that's the first video. I'll play the second, and if you could just post comments in the chat section around what you've learned from the videos, that would be great. So I'll play the second video.
Oui.
So I hope both videos were audible.
The audio was a bit off, but yeah.
Okay, no worries. The links are have been put up, so you can just stream it afterwards and just replay it. It should get more clarity. But two key things to pick out from both of those clips. And remember, I put out a disclaimer that it's not an endorsement of any organization. So two key things are, one, the profession itself is evolving. Yeah. And secondly is that it's up to you to upskill yourself, to make yourself more relevant for the future workforce going forward. So what I want to focus next is what skills are required for the future. Now we can either acquire hard skills or soft skills. Now hard skills are skills which you can easily acquire and it's easy to quantify, yeah? And these are skills which you acquire through learning. Now, soft skills are known as people skills or interpersonal skills. So this is how you relate to other people and what is inherent within you. Now, if we look at some of the skills that were needed most, and this one was extracted from LinkedIn, top 5 soft skills: creativity, persuasion, collaboration, adaptability, and emotional intelligence. So these are skills which will define sort of your people skills, as it were. Now, the top hard skills which were required and currently are, so we have blockchain, cloud computing, analytical reasoning, AI, UX design, so that's the user experience, business analysis or analytics, affiliate marketing, sales, scientific computing, video production. Now, if you have a combination of soft skills and hard skills, then it's going to better position yourself for the job market going forward. Now, on the left of the screen, you have 7 future skills. So self-directed learning. Remember, there is only a limit to what you can acquire through formal learning. So whether it's through your university education or through the actuarial professional papers, a lot more of what you'll need going forward will be acquired through self-learning. So you need to have that discipline to actually upskill yourself and take the initiative to learn as much as you can, over and above what you'll actually cover through bookwork. Critical thinking is also a future skill set. And if you think about it deeply, it means being able to critically analyze whether it's a business problem, a solution that is required, and providing a range of possible solutions around the problem. Creative thinking, collaboration and leadership, communication in all forms. Communication is extremely critical and crucial in the business world. Now, you may have all the skills which are required, but if you cannot communicate in a manner which is understood by the business, then there is really no point in what you know. So you need to be able to communicate and put across the solutions which you are proposing. Entrepreneurship. Not everyone can be employed by companies. There's a constraint, but also going forward, you'll find that amongst yourselves, they're going to be entrepreneurs. So you're going to become an employer for other people or other actuaries. Then last future skill is the social and emotional aptitude. Now, in terms of project execution, there are 2 key ways that can be done. One is a waterfall, and that's what has historically been used by companies in the past. So waterfall is sort of like, think of it like a staircase concept, where everything goes on from one stage to another. So you start off with the concept around what you want to do or execute. You design the solution, develop it, then you test it. Now, increasingly, digital companies are adopting something called Agile. Now, Agile is an iterative method of developing solutions. So it's a continuous loop where you design something, develop it, test it, and it's a recursive process. Now, most top companies are shifting from waterfall to Agile. And there are courses around Agile, project management and development. Lots of courses online for you to learn about Agile versus waterfall. And it will actually be a very good skill for you to acquire in terms of knowing what are the fundamentals around Agile and what are the underlying principles around it. Now, if we then look at the role of an actuary in digital innovation, so I've picked out a few roles which I feel you could easily get into should you decide to take up a role in digital innovation. And there are also a number of links which I've included within the slide. You should be able to go through them once the slides are going to be circulated. So first is strategic business modeling. Now, you'll find that all businesses have an underlying strategy around it. So they'll define their vision, their mission, and what they want to achieve within the short term, medium term, and long term. Now, key to that is some modeling around their business strategy. So you can put your actuarial skill set in coming up with a strategic business model that is going to define the blueprint for the organization. And I don't want you to restrict yourself to the traditional mainstream firms where actuaries have worked in before, insurance, pensions, etc. You can take up a role in manufacturing, you can take up a role in virtually any industry and apply that skill set within the specifics of that sector. Second role is in forecasting. So increasingly businesses want to understand the dynamics going forward. And to do that, a lot of forecasting models are required. And that's one area where actuaries thrive a lot. Third is dissecting the customer voice. There is a lot of information available within social networks. So customers are increasingly sharing information within social networking sites. So how can you transform that abstract information into something that is meaningful? So for instance, if you roll out a product and you promote it via social media sites, you're going to get a lot of thanks. I seem to have been muted for a few seconds. So I was mentioning that you'll find that there's a lot of customer feedback and information that is shared through social media, and it's all abstract because it's in text form. So how do you translate that to something meaningful that can form inferences for the business? So that's also something really key. And if you think about it, a lot of businesses actually are warming up to the use of social media to solve customer problems and also collect customer information. So if you can combine the modeling skills which you acquire through the actuarial training, learn a thing or two about social media marketing, and now combine the two to actually build up models, it can really put you in a good position in terms of upskilling yourself. Payments solutions is something which is really key in digital innovations. Now, you can't have a digital transformation without payment, an element of payments there. And the payment ecosystem is an industry in itself. So should you decide to explore a role in payments, you can find yourself either working in business to customer solutions, B2C, or customer to business payment solutions, C2B, or business to business payment solutions. And there are new things which are coming up. So for instance, in my current role, you may be aware of some of the innovative solutions which have been brought to the market by Safaricom. So standing order on mobile money, commonly known as Fuliza in the market. Then there are increasingly going to be new credit propositions and solutions that are going to be offered going forward. So whether it's a standing order functionality, there's a new app that was recently released in the market with new features. So you can actually develop solutions and optimize different payment products within that space. So the payment space is quite huge, in my opinion, and not just really restricted to mobile money. When you now even go to card or online payments, there is a whole ecosystem in itself there. Fourth is digital, or rather the fifth role is on digital credit and scoring. There's a really huge appetite for credit currently in the country. And some statistics which were released by CBK indicates that Kenyans borrow up to 50 billion shillings daily. And that's on a daily basis across all networks. So whether you're looking at Fuliza, whether you're looking at lending apps, and that said, there's huge demand for credit scoring models. And these models need to be dynamic. Now, the old models would either qualify a customer for a loan. So you'll make a loan application, it will either be a yes, no response. I'm either giving you a loan or not. Now, the dynamic credit scoring models that are required going forward need to be able to apply a risk scoring in a sensible manner. So it may permit all customers, say, to be eligible for a credit facility, but the interest rates are going to be dynamic. So depending on your risk rating, you may have a higher interest rate compared to another customer, and the tenor for the loan would also be different. So for instance, one may be restricted to repaying the loan within 3 months, another will have the flexibility of repaying it over 1 year. And also what could also be dynamic is the interest rate attached to the facility. So depending on your credit scoring, you may have an interest rate of 4%, whereas someone else will have an interest rate of 8%. The last role is around service design, UX, and customer experience. Now, remember there is a backend model which does all the work. Then there's a front-end interface. So how is the customer actually going to interact with the product or solution which you're proposing? Now, there's a whole new field around UX and CX design, which is also something that you can also upskill yourself with. A lot of modules which are available online around these particular features. And you can also get certifications around the same. So in your free time, I just want you to go more in depth, try and understand what particular roles are available within these segments and what certifications are available. And these are skills which you can actually acquire even as you go through your normal degree program, such that by the time you're done with your undergraduate degree, you also have certifications in some of these skills. And like I mentioned, I've included links below for you to just go through. Next, we'll just look at some career opportunities which are available. So before the session, I decided to just do a search with the phrase digital and looked at jobs which are available locally within Kenya, and also those which are available worldwide. And most of these jobs either fall under digital product management. So on your bottom right of the screen, cybersecurity expert, cloud architects, AI engineer, or data scientists. Now, as of today, there are about 314 jobs with the phrase digital. And you can see some of the roles which are available on your screen. And if you expand that to worldwide outreach, there were just in excess of 900,000 jobs available. Now, increasingly, companies are coming up with digital transformation or champion departments. And like I've mentioned, I don't want you to restrict yourself to traditional insurance companies. All companies, like you can see from the screen, are embarking on a digital transformation journey. So if you upskill yourself, if you get certification in some of the roles which I've talked about, then you can find yourself getting into exciting roles in quite a wide number of employers. So that said, I would like to take the session to an open forum. We have about 12 minutes left. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. It's an open discussion. So yeah, we can crack on for the remaining 11 minutes. I don't know if Livingstone is back on the session or not.
Yes, I'm back to the session at Odera and the team thing. I'm very sorry I lost my network immediately I started speaking, and I had a lot of hard time joining back. Thank you very much, Odera, for the session. I've been following through since I joined, and the reason why we brought you here is just to give a different perspective so that students have something to think differently about their career and not to restrict themselves to the traditional careers. So maybe at this point, we'll give room to questions, and Abna, the organizing secretary for Ask, was the one charged with questions. Probably, Abna, you can unmute yourself and share the questions that you have on the chat and through our YouTube. We'll also wish to encourage our members, those who are watching us, go to our YouTube channel, comment the university where you come from. The university with the highest attendance will also get a chance to host an event which is fully funded by Attrition, one of our partners, who is funding organizations and groups that are promoting collaborative work and those that are working together. So go to the YouTube channel. That's the only way you can also be able to vote. Write the name of your university and where you are watching from, and you will stand to win for your university a chance to host a physical event. Thank you very much. So Abna, probably you can just go to the question. If you can get Abna or we can also check with the SecGen. You can also read the questions if they are ready. Now, somebody is asking, Momo is asking, what do you do specifically in Safaricom on a day-to-day basis? And now that you are an actuary, they're just interested to know that. That's quite personal, but Odera, you can tell us your roles at Safaricom.
Okay, so my specific role is setting up, or rather heading the digital innovation for the company. And on a day-to-day basis, no day is ever the same, in the sense that it's a very dynamic work environment. So what we are seeking to do in the insurance space, one is just at a very high level, without going into the specifics, we are coming up with a digital insurance platform, which will be able to address most of the business operational inefficiencies that exist within the market. And that platform will also come with inbuilt payment solutions. So insurance credit, whether you're looking at insurance premium financing on a real-time basis, whether you're looking at policy loans. Then there are also strategic products for the company, which I'm currently steering. So for instance, you may be aware that the company rolled out a Lipa Mdogo Mdogo in the market, where customers can own 4G devices for as little as 20 shillings per day. So there's some insurance component around it in the backend, and also around the credit propositions, which are being rolled out by the company. There's some insurance embedded within it in the backend. So that's predominantly what I'm occupied with in my current role.
Wow, thank you very much. Abna, you have any question? Or SecGen chairperson, you can read the question.
Yes, please. Just a minute. I'm coming from, I'm representing the team from YouTube. And so we have a question coming from Ben Guye. Ben Guye says, thanks for the good representation. If I may ask, what role are you playing as an actuary in telecommunication, and can we get internship in Safaricom? So that's a question from Ben Guye. We also have another question from Ruben Mutembei. He's a student from KISS University. He says, I hope you can tell us which are the most vital skills to venture in. So I think our guest, you can note that question.
Okay, thanks. So if I may, I can just take the two questions. So I think for the first question, I had covered it in part through the earlier question that I answered. But maybe just specifically, I'll probably widen that question to just indicate some of the roles which you can end up with within the company. So there are quite a number of departments within Safaricom. So myself, I'm in financial services, or M-Pesa, as is widely known outside here. And there are a lot of things, or rather sub-components within the financial services space, which are available. So whether you want to explore a role in credit, or whether you want to explore a role in wealth, mobile banking solutions, insurance, where I am under, or whether you want to explore a career in payment solutions. And remember, I've mentioned payment is extremely wide, and it covers both enterprise as well as consumer solutions. And there are other departments as well: data analytics, enterprise business units, strategy. So it's quite wide in terms of where you can end up working. But most importantly, what is key is for you to be able to apply that skill set in either department. So for the second question, so okay, the thing is, in terms of what I would say is really critical is for you to upskill yourself if you want to get any role within the digital space. And from the slides, I had highlighted some of the hard skills and the soft skills which you'll need to acquire. And if you noted some of these skills, you won't get someone who is going to sit you down and actually tutor you around them. You will need to upskill yourself. There are a lot of credible and certifiable courses which you can do online over and above your university degree modules. So given that you have the time in university, take advantage and actually upskill yourself. Get some of these certifications such that by the time you are graduating, it's going to add some weight to your CV, even as you apply for jobs.
Yes, thank you. So before I invite my colleagues who are going to take questions from Zoom, and maybe not Zoom and Facebook. Another question comes from Eunice Jambi. She's a student from Seku. She's asking, I would love to know a connection between actuarial and cybersecurity. And also, I'm taking a question from Bill Cheriot. Yes, computer skill required as an actuary. So that's a question: which computer skill is required as an actuary? And also the team from, I've seen a question from AKA Ramsey. He says, do you offer attachment in your field at Safaricom? If yes, can you kindly share your contacts? Yeah, I think those are the questions for now from YouTube. So I would like to invite Judy to maybe wrap up the question from Zoom so that you can answer them all in one, so that you can wrap up the video.
Okay, so if you don't mind, I can just quickly check those. So in terms of job opportunities and internship opportunities as well. So I'll just speak specifically to Safaricom. I not necessarily any other organization, but I'll assume that the same principles apply. So most companies normally advertise for roles through the career website. So what you just need to do is to go to the Safaricom careers page, create your profile there, upload any certificates that you currently have, indicate what stage of your university education that you're currently under. And you can also subscribe to job notifications. What happens is that if there are any internship opportunities which are available, they'll always be listed there. And if you subscribe to job notifications, you'll get those notifications via email. In terms of what computing, or rather what you can, the computer language skill you can learn. To be honest, there are so many skills out there. So whether you want to explore a programming language, whether you want to become really proficient in R or say Java, it's purely up to you what you want to explore. And the most important thing is just aligning, the programming language which you choose to your future workforce. But you'll find that at the end of the day, whether it's you're really good in R or SPSS or Java as a programming language, you can use it to solve virtually any business problem or model any business solution. For the first question, it was, I think, a correlation between actuarial and cybersecurity. So cybersecurity in itself is quite a wide domain. So whether you want to look at the inherent risks which are available within the cyberspace and modeling solutions around it, or whether you want to look at it from the angle of some of the insurance solutions which you can develop around cybersecurity, and that one you can then restrict it to the specific operations within the company that you intend to work for. So I'll just give you an example. If you're looking at cybersecurity within a telco space as an actuary, what I will ask myself is what are some of the risks which are inherent within mobile money? So you have instances of social engineering where people send money to the unintended recipient. So how can you say structure an insurance solution around it? Or how can you develop some algorithms to actually flag out certain standard texts which are normally used by fraudsters to defraud customers of their money? So it's really up to you to really look at what you want to solve within the cyberspace security. So you can go to the next question. Set of questions.
Yeah, the next question comes from Zoom. So I will invite Judy to take us through.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Joseph. Then from the questions here at Zoom, we have a question from Leon Kohler. How do you deal with the Data Protection Act, as this role really deals with much of personal data?
Yeah, that's a good question. So within the product design process, you need to explicitly be cognizant of the fact that customers need to consent to the use of personal data. Now, you'll find that some of the existing products which are currently out there may need to be adjusted retrospectively, and also customers need to consent during the product sign-up process that they are allowing their information to be shared. So we are fully compliant with the Data Privacy Act, and also for any product which you develop, you also need to ensure that it's in full compliance of the same. And customers need to explicitly consent to you using their data as part of the product sign-up process. So all that is taken care of during the actual product design.
Okay, thank you for that, George. I believe, Leon, you're answered. Then we also have another question from Kevin Owino. My question is more of professional path. Which is the best part in actuarial profession? Doing professional papers or taking masters? Which one should start?
So I would think it depends on where you want to work at the end of the day. Right now, for professional papers, it will position you to take up a role in the traditional sectors, insurance, banking, pensions, regulations, etc. But that's not to mean that you can't work in other sectors. Myself, I'm qualified, but I'm working in a totally different field. Now, masters will also give you some level of, I would say, align you in some way. But at the end of the day, even with the bachelor's degree, it all depends with how you position yourself. And you'll find that for some of you, even those who are on the call, you'll end up going in totally different paths. So some of you will pursue actuarial papers to the very end. Some of you may stop somewhere midstream. Others will pursue a career without actuarial papers. But even with the basic undergraduate degree, by the time you're graduating, I believe at the back of your mind, you'll have some inherent skills which you'll have acquired, problem solving skills. So really, from a job perspective, it also depends on how you really position yourself and how you utilize some of the skills. And also, like I've mentioned, there are some hard skills and soft skills which you'll acquire off academia. So these are skills which professional papers won't give you, neither will a master's degree give you.
Okay, thank you for that. I believe that is well explained. Then another question from Ian. Other than actuarial science, what else did you further to enable you reach to where you are today?
Okay, so for the better part of my career, it has been inclined towards using the actuarial skill set. But what I've also done to upskill myself is doing a course in digital product management. So becoming certified on the same. And there are quite a number of modules. So it's a modularized course, which you do fully online, and you are certified on the same. Then I've also done a course on Agile fundamentals. So just understanding what is required in Agile project management. Remember, I mentioned it's either waterfall or Agile, and increasingly organizations are adopting Agile. So I've done those 2 extra courses over and above the mainstream actuarial professional papers to just upskill myself for the digital world.
Okay, from Martin Mumo, what is the ratio on the academic grades and the skills that you possess?
So I'm trying to understand the question. Ratio of academic grades versus the skills
that you possess. I think this person is asking, is trying to compare with your academics and the skills. What can you say about it?
Okay, so I know it varies from person to person. If I look at what I have covered, say, through the professional papers and what I'm applying on a day-to-day basis, so one, and I'm sure you've covered some of these modules through university. So there is a module on communication. So that's normally very critical, because increasingly, I find myself having to explain very technical concepts on almost a daily basis to different business professionals who don't necessarily have actuarial expertise. So being able to actually break down those technical concepts in a manner that can be understood by the business is very important. Then also the other module which I found myself applying a lot is the actuarial modeling, the equivalent of the old CA2. I don't know what it's currently called. I think it should be CP2. So communication and modeling. Now, over and above that, the other skills, you basically acquire them on the job. So whether it's the soft skills or hard skills, or people management, stakeholder management, etc. Some of these you will just learn through them on the job as you begin working.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions. Maybe I can be reading them by how they relate. So Rebecca is asking, do I need to have done any actuarial paper to get a job?
So the answer is no. You don't need to do any actuarial paper to get a job. If you do one, it may position you better. If you do one, it may position you to be a better place to get a job. But again, this is purely dependent on the industry or sector which you want to work in. So for instance, if you are looking at non-traditional sectors, then you don't necessarily need to have actuarial, the professional papers. But if you're looking at, say, a role in pensions or insurance, which is an actuarial department, it's only going to be sensitive to pursue actuarial papers. But no, you don't need, you do not necessarily need those papers to to get a role or a job.
Okay, so there are questions here relating to data science. I'll read both of them, then you can answer them concurrently. Ayub from Kisii University is saying, with the emergence of data science, analytics, and automation, what is the future of the actuarial science profession? Then also Paul is asking, what are some of the specific problems that data scientists solve in Safaricom?
Okay, so if tackling the first question, so actuarial and data science, now you may be aware that the actuarial profession actually started a course on data science, and that's just to bridge the gap between what actuaries currently have as a skill set and what new skills data science brings to businesses. Now, data science is, I would say it's an emerging skill set, just like actuarial was a couple of years back. And it's a course which you can also decide to pursue over and above your actuarial degree. And the good thing is that there are also a lot of online courses which you can do and you can get a certificate for. So you don't necessarily need to sit in a physical class and understand what data science is about. What they do in Safaricom, so I've interacted with a number of data scientists in the analytics department. So predominantly they've been involved in coming up with credit scoring models, the calculation engine around what drives, say, limits for Fuliza, for instance. So you may be aware that for even some of you, you do not necessarily all have the same credit score limit via Fuliza. You have different limits. Now there is a model that goes on behind it in terms of coming up with the algorithms. And they don't work in isolation. So you'll find they'll work with business partners, they'll work with actuaries like myself in terms of calibrating some of those models and coming up with some of the algorithms around the different businesses. So, and that's just one example. They do a whole lot of other stuff within the company.
Okay. There's another question on the future of actuarial science on money markets.
Okay, so I'll just generalize it and say actuarial will always have a future, whether it's in money markets, any financial services space, or any industry. The future will always be there, but the caveat is only if we are able to also adapt with the changing times and also upskill ourselves where is necessary. So you'll still find that, yes, your backbone degree or your backbone skill is going to be actuarial, but you'll be acquiring other soft or hard skills over time to ensure that you keep yourself relevant going forward. So whether it's enhancing existing solutions or coming up with new solutions, that upskilling yourself is very critical. And I started my discussion by looking at discussing some companies which you could relate to, Kodak, Everready, which were there in the past, were doing so well, but they didn't really adapt themselves with the changing time. So the same just holds for virtually any professional. You need to ensure that much as you have that core skill, you need to always upskill yourself to what is required by businesses going forward.
Okay.
So I think we've busted our 1300 hour. So perhaps I would like to hand it back to Livingstone.
Oh, so George, maybe as we hand over to Livingstone, maybe you can answer some of the questions from the chat box, even as we hear from Livingstone.
Yeah, so thank you very much, George. Thank you very much, the Actuarial students, for just organizing this session. Corporate Career Academy is just an initiative. Our aim is to ensure that we are able to link you to the industry, get to understand information about what's happening in the industry, so that you can also develop some realistic expectation about the industry, about your profession, and about your career. So this session brings to us a number of things we are just looking at, and we wish to appreciate all of you for coming. And to ensure that you are able to work, one of our partners has agreed to support your initiatives in college, also to learn about career. So what they have requested is, on our YouTube channel, type your name and where you are watching us from. The university with the highest students to be engaged in this session will earn a session, and funded by the partner to run an event in your college. So, and for your college, your vote counts, and they'll be seen all over. It's on our YouTube channel chat, Corporate Career Academy. Just type your name and where you are watching from. So much of the things have been asked, and what we have agreed with the management of Actuarial Society of Kenya is to ensure that we bring a number of professionals. Not only George, we're also bringing people talking about data science, talking about analytics, business development again as a function, other areas, reinsurance, underwriting, claims. So in the coming sessions, we'll be having speakers. And I just wanted to mention, on 12th of August next month, we shall have a speaker talking about data science, because that's a topic most of you requested more about. So we'll have a speaker, 2 international speakers talking about the data science. One is quite experienced in the area, and one is also young but doing well in that field, so that they can also be able to give a clear perspective on what do we expect us in data science. So we look forward to inviting you to those sessions, and once you are called, kindly come. We also made a resolution. We'll be giving certificate of participation to all participants who come to our events. So once you have, after this session, last with your university rep, they'll be able to tell you when the certificate will be issued for those who participated in the event. So, but I want to remind you, do you want to earn a position? Do you want to earn an event in your university? Comment in our YouTube channel, your name, and where you are watching us from. So without much ado, I want to appreciate Odera. I'm very sorry I had challenges initially. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation. And I think you are the best person to start with, giving us perspective around a career. Where do we move to? I have known Odera for quite some time. He's well experienced. He has worked in the insurance industry. He has all the papers that all of us are aspiring to have, but now he's working in a different field. Again, we need to bring new perspectives, change of thinking, so that you don't do a career with your mind fixed that I have to be employed in this and this place. So thank you very much, Odera, for that. I'll wish to introduce, just give this chance to the chairperson of the Actuarial Students Association to just give the vote of thanks as we wind up the meeting, and request you to join us on Friday, on 12th of, which is on a Thursday, 12th of August. We'll have 2 speakers speaking about data science, and all of you are welcome to join. We'll be sharing the poster after this session. Thank you very much. Mr. President, welcome, and give your vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Livingstone. Thank you very much, George, for your insights. We don't take it for granted, and we welcome you again and again to more of our sessions. We will be sending you invites, and we hope you are ready to work with us at any time. So for our vote of thanks, will be given by our deputy, our vice chairperson, so that we can have the balance of gender. But before that, we have our task team represented by J.R. Njiru. We have our task team, the Actuarial Society of Kenya, represented by J.R. Njiru. If you can hear me, Njiru, you can unmute yourself and speak to the students before we are given the vote of thanks. Njiru?
Thank you, Tim, and thanks, George. George, that was a fascinating session, and we ask the students to continue engaging on matters related to the career and understanding the actuarial profession and how they can continue to go beyond the norms, because there are so many facets of the industry that this career can be used and utilized upon. Okay, thank you all, and thanks for a beautiful session.
Thank you very much, Njiru, for that. So I'll welcome our Vice Chairperson, Stacy Gishuki, to give the vote of thanks. And as we end our meeting for the day, the questions, I know we cannot exhaust all of them, so keep them coming on our social medias. Here we will sample all of them, and we will send them even to inboxes to the inbox for George, and we'll get back to you all the questions, as many as we can. We cannot exhaust them in just one period, so keep them coming. We will sample all of them. Thank you. Stacy, you're very welcome to give us the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Victor. Oh, Vincent, can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can.
Oh, so my name is Stacy Gishuki. As Vincent has said, the Vice Chair for Actuarial Student Society of Kenya. And first, I would like to thank God for enabling us to be here today. I want to thank George for creating time to come and educate us on the role of being an actuary in the digital market. Thank you. You have educated. We have learned a lot from you, and it has been an eye opener that it's not a must we focus on being in one section. We can also work on other sections in the industry. So thank you, Livingston, for enabling us to have such an event. It wouldn't have been possible without you. So thank you. Also, for our campus representatives, we want to thank you because you are the one who mobilized the students to attend this session, and we want to thank you so much. And also for the students, thank you for turning up. The turn up is so great, and so thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Stacy. Thank you very much, team. Welcome again to the Corporate Career Academy, linking academia and the industry. Our role is to ensure that the industry and academia are aligned. We are able to guide our students to be the best they can be. We are ready to partner with you, and may you have a good day. Let's meet.